Welcome to the PBC 2020 NBA Draft Remote Film Room. Today, I'm joined by Maryland's Anthony Cowen. Welcome, Anthony.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Hey, doing well. Appreciate you jumping on here. You've had a hell of a career at Maryland, led your team to a lot of wins over your years there. And, as the point guard and the floor general, seeing you be able to orchestrate a successful team like that, I think is a good sign of, what's to come for you as you make this transition into your pro career. And what we wanted to do here is kind of dive into some of your tape and go through some of those strengths that you bring to the table, maybe a few areas that you could stand to work on and improve on that'll help your game more cleanly translate to the next level.
For sure. Let's get it.
All right, good deal. So what we're going to start with here are some offensive strengths. And what particularly stood out to me when diving through the tape is your burst and acceleration and getting to the rim. So we're going to start off here against Michigan State. You see you absolutely blow by this guy. So let's run this back a little bit. What I particularly like is right here, you see an angle, right? You see this guy coming off this screen out to this wing. But as that's developing, you see this guy cheating a little bit, and you look how flexible you are here. Look how horizontal you are in, accelerating to the hole. You see that lane developing and you're assertive and you get there. Do you want to maybe speak to as that play is taking shape, what you saw there that made you decide to go for that drive?
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing I look in, especially when I'm going head on again with another defender, and I look at the eye. So when you're guarding me, I'm pretty sure defenders are already starting to think that it's about to be a ball screen coming at some point of the offensive of the possession. And that's why I do a lot of rejecting the ball screens, because most of the time defenders already know where the ball screens are coming from, because they already scouted, they already watched film, so and so. So the rejections are there a lot. So this particular play, Sticks, instead of setting the ball screen, he just slipped it. He didn't really even slip it. He just got out the way. And I'm pretty sure the defender already thought that Sticks was coming into a ball screen automatically. As soon as I seen his eyes shift just a little bit, I try to attack, and I try to just go with a straight line as possible. Not trying to let him knock you off your road. And the spacing was really good. People was in the corner, deep corner, so it allowed me to get all the way to the rim.
Yeah, and I think that's great recognition to know that this guy is trying to kind of peek out of the corner of his eye, anticipate this screen coming, and when you catch him sleeping for half a second there, you have that acceleration in your game to get that dribble out far, take only 2 dribbles from out there and get to the rim, and you got there pretty uncontested, blew right past him. So, as a lead guard transitioning to the next level, you're going to be facing more athletic on-ball defenders. It might not be as easy to do that, but it's good to know that you have that baseline burst and acceleration to be able to take advantage of those situations.
For sure. Definitely. And also at the next level, it's also a lot more space. It's not as much help defense. So I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That should only help catalyze even more opportunities like that for you.
For sure.
If you're able to get by your guy, there will be less guys able to kind of pack the paint there.
For sure.
So next one here is against Illinois. So this one, we'll reverse this a little bit. You get a nasty, crossover here, but what I like is that there's no wasted movement here. You cross over and then you immediately get to the cup. You're not it's not one of these elongated kind of, stalled crossovers that takes a little bit longer after you gather it to get yourself accelerating toward the rim. You just cross and you go burn right past this guy. If I reverse this a little bit, I think we'll see that at one point, he's just still stuck in the mud right there, completely off balance. You here, get the whole way to the cup for the finger roll. Just a really nice play again there to, take advantage of one of your strengths and your acceleration.
So for me, in our offense, I have the ball at the top of the key a lot of the times. Depending on what the play is. So if you can stop it right there.
Yep.
So what I'm already looking at the bottom, and I'm looking at which big man will be able to step up and try to defend my layup or whatever I had to do to get to the basket. So I already see Kipper Nichols.
Sure.
He's number 2 on the Illinois. His back is already to the ball, so he's not even worried about me yet. And Illinois does a really good job of denying and pushing offenses out. So like I said earlier with the eyes thing, I seen the eyes. As soon as I seen the eyes shift, I knew it was time to make that quick cross. And obviously it took Nichols a little bit of time for sure.
So that's something that you're focusing on both with your own on-ball defender and then with these potential help bigs, like what direction they're facing, where their eyes are focused. So you're saying that this guy in the paint seems to be worried about some sort of back screen or off-ball action here. And you see when his attention is diverted there, and then your guy happens to turn his head a little bit too, that's like the perfect opportunity for you to take advantage of both of those things, right?
For sure. Most of the time, I'm not really necessarily looking at the first man. It's usually the second man in defense that really comes up and is usually the help man, especially in the Big Ten. So I think the look down there and what lane would be the best to take. Obviously with Kipper Nichols with his back to the basket, I think that was the easiest.
Yep, and you can see he eventually tries to come help here, right? Exactly. But it's way too late. He's way too late on the help. You're already up there laying it up before he can even gather or try to block it, right? So
I should have dunked it.
Nice recognition by you there, and great burst again, and just a nice play that I think, is indicative of like what you can continue to bring to the table as a pro.
I should have dunked it.
Yeah, that's next, right? Get that NBA strength and conditioning program, get that vertical bounce going.
Exactly.
All right, so here we go. We got a matchup against Wisconsin. You're really patient here, right? Like you could have tried to pull up there, but you end up not doing it because you get this switch right there.
Mm-hmm.
You kick it to the wing. He recognizes the mismatch, gets it right back to you. So what is going through your mind when you get a juicy switch like this? You got a big that you have the quickness advantage over most guards to begin with, but when you get a bigger, more slow-footed big switched out onto you, like what is your read? What's going through your mind, and how are you, thinking about how to take advantage of this situation?
Yeah, for sure. So like I said earlier, I'm not really too concerned about the first defender because it's usually the second defender that really messes up the shot. So on this one, I see Sticks is already on that block. So I know I needed to move to probably go left to be able to score. So I think the next couple seconds I'm doing some type of crossover or shifting them to one way first. And then I knew it was probably best to come back because I knew the guard that's on the elbow wasn't going to help too much off of Aaron. So I knew
I knew take it from there.
Exactly. So I knew I was going to get past the first man, and then I knew Tricer had to make some type of decision, either the lob or the layup. And then he gave me the layup, so I was able to finish.
Yeah, and it seems like your guys on the wing over here keep it nice and spaced for you. You create the nice angle to get to your left. They're a little bit hesitant to help off too much because they know that you're a good passer as well, and will kick it out to those guys for the three if they collapse. And then, like you said, Sticks is on the block over there with a small guy trying to front him, and that guy's probably really concerned about, just not letting him be taken advantage of in that mismatch too. So you're able to get all the way to the cup here. Nice left-handed finish.
For sure. Appreciate it.
It's good stuff. We got one here against Ohio State. Play kind of breaks down. You get it at the top and just knife through everybody. I think three guys might have touched you on this one even as you knife through the paint. So you get this at the top here. Maybe you want to talk through what's your read here? Because it seems like there is a lot of potential for help defense over here, right? With this guy being right on the elbow right there. You would think maybe he'd be able to step in and help on you, but how did you know I can get past this guy and this help might not actually be there and I can find this narrow window to the rim?
Yeah, for sure. So it's like the last play. you see Sticks on that block right there. So unless Sticks is going to wedge him in order for me to get to the basket, I wasn't going to go that way. And normally that's not what we do. But like you see on that weak side, they look like they're in help, but they're really worried about the double screen coming out the corner. So their back is kind of towards me. Their back is kind of towards me. And like I said earlier, Muhammad is probably looking for another ball screen. And like I said, it gave me just another wide open lane. Just try to get that first step. And after I get it past them, I knew it was going to be open. It was too late for them to come help.
Yep, exactly. So that wraps up that particular portion of the film. And, again, think that your burst and acceleration on offense is pretty exceptional. Definitely something that translates to the next level. What we want to focus on here for this next segment of the film is a little bit of an area that you could stand to improve on, that you have some difficulty with. And this is with shooting against longer defenders. So you're a good shooter, like you're a really good shooter from deep, but every once in a while, if you get someone matched up with you that like is quick enough to slide their feet, but also has that length to get that high hand contest, it can give you some trouble. So we're just going to go through them quick, and maybe, I'll just let these all play through, but maybe you can speak to like how you feel like you can improve in that area and what you can do to maybe create some more space for yourself, or like, find a different way to take advantage of these types of situations and stick it for against longer guys. So we see here you come off this flare screen. This guy gets a high hand on here. Tough miss there.
Just looking at it over again. If I could do it again, I'll probably stop a little shorter behind Sticks's fade screen. Because that would have been a lot easier shot, and it gave Rocket a lot of time to recover. Because Sticks did set a really good screen. I probably would have stopped a little bit shorter. But it did give him a lot of time to contest as well. But I just gotta be able to hit that for sure.
Yeah, so you're saying it's more so in like what your immediate movement is and reading the screen and setting yourself up in the right spot to take advantage of it, instead of giving him more of like an angle and time to recover.
Yeah, for sure. Just reading the screens a little bit better.
Cool. We got this next one's against Iowa. So your guys driving, it's a little chaotic out on the wing here, high contest, tough miss again there.
Yeah, I just gotta hit that one.
Yeah, and I mean, not necessarily like a huge weakness or anything, but just like something that I noticed when, there's a great contest too. And like, I recognize that one is like kind of late in the shot clock, but still probably enough time for you there to maybe like not put that tough one up over a long, like high hand contest.
For sure.
And maybe you just pump him there, or you look, down to that guy in the dunker spot or something. Maybe might have been a better way for you to attack that specific situation, right?
I agree, for sure.
Now we're going to move on to where you excel on the defensive end of the court. So I feel like you have some of the quickest hands in this entire draft class, in my opinion. And having watched all this tape, you're able to slide your feet and stick with guys. But a lot of times what I've noticed is, guys will like jump into their kind of gather step, or, be trying to knife into the paint and penetrate. And you're able to just like, in a split second, reach your hand in there, knock the ball off their leg out of bounds, create turnovers, or poke it out and start a fast break. Just really quick, active hands. So we're going to run a few clips here of you, causing this chaos and sort of poking balls away and creating some transition opportunities.
For sure.
So there's a little like DHO/PNR action here. I particularly like this one because, you're fighting through this Trace Jackson Davis screen.
Mm-hmm.
You're, this guy's going with a head of steam down to the left, and you see how your arm that's toward the baseline is straight up in the air to make it clear to the ref that you're not holding, you're not hand checking or anything like that. And just when the guy thinks maybe he has a lane, you get your hand right down in there on the ball, cleanly smack it out, and it goes off of him, and it's a possession for you guys off of them. So do you want to maybe talk through, like, I guess,
for sure.
When a play like this is developing, what's your read, and then how do you recover and like have the wherewithal to get your hand in there and make sure not to foul in that situation?
For sure. So for little guards, in general, it's huge for us to play with our hands, because we can move our feet all we want, but at the end of the day, bigger player can always just shoot over top. If we don't give them that choice, if they coming up and we can smack it down, or just not even smack it sometimes, but just think that we're going to make them think that we're going to do it. That can make them mess their shot up a lot. For this particular play, I can already see in it, like his body motion, that he wanted to go downhill. He didn't want to stop behind the three. So I wanted to make sure I got in front of him as best as I could. And then, like you said, I wanted to make it look like he had a nice little way to the rim. But as soon as I seen him put the ball in front of me, I just smacked it. Got a hand on it, and it was out on him.
Yeah, I think it's just like a really interesting mix of both, like, showing the ref that you're not fouling, but also at the same time you're deceiving like you were saying, deceiving the offensive guy into thinking that he has a clean path to the rim, and ultimately ends up being a turnover. And I mean, that's a key play in the context of this game too, right? 5-point game, less than 5 minutes left. You guys need to make a little bit of a comeback here, and you're able to force a turnover in that situation. So I think that makes that even all that more impressive of a play. See, on this one, they have a few handoff actions to get it started. They set this pick and roll here after all that movement to initiate it. You fight over top of the screen here, and this guy thinks, okay, like he's out of the play at this point. You're kind of an afterthought after he gets that high screen on you, but like you put forth the effort to fight around this big and then poke this out from behind there. You want to maybe speak to like your ability to fight over screens, and like when you do, like kind of how you're able to like stay in the play and then make that poke without the guy even noticing that you're there.
Right. So before you can even see the ball screen coming, I'm trying to make it as difficult as ever for him to get the ball in the beginning, not even try to touch it. But he got it. So then my next thing is try to get over the screen and at least try to keep a hand on him as much as possible, so I can stay connected in some type of way. And I seen him going a little bit. I try to get over. My teammate did a really good job of staying in the screen until I got back. And then
it seems right here like maybe he's got you pinned, right? But like you're somehow able to like maneuver your body and dip around him and like fight through it, even though at this particular angle it looks like a great screen, right? For
sure. For little guards, it's easy for us to get cleared out by screens and other offensive players did not find us. And then I seen that he kind of lost me a little bit. And it was an easy back tap.
Yep. And then what I love here is that you get out on the break, keep your head up, easy dunk too. So, right, you're not only fighting through a screen, giving that effort, causing the steal, you're also getting out, leading the break, and still keeping your head up for a teammate. So just the entire play is just, really nice, really positive on all fronts there. Next, we got Minnesota here. So you're down in the paint here. You're coming around that down screen. You fight over top of it, right? Sticking with your man. Really intense on-ball defense, and you're able to poke that away. And then here, I like, we don't get to see the entirety of how that play ends up, but you poke this away, you get going, you realize you don't particularly have numbers, and you have the wherewithal to kind of stop and reset and not necessarily force something and, have a turnover back the other way. And, you save the possession there by doing so. You want to maybe talk through, I guess, first defensively, the initiation of this, and then secondly, like on the break, what you were seeing and what caused you to pull it back out?
Right. So in this possession, you can see he's coming off a handoff. Or he's coming. I'm sorry, he's coming off a down screen. And
Yep.
this is a really good shooter in our league. Gabe, I forgot his last name, but he's a really good shooter in our league. So I wanted to make sure he at least knows I'm there on the catch. So you can see me there, and he gets the ball in my face a little bit, and I'm able to just knock it free. And then in transition, I seen a lot of white jerseys, and I didn't see so many black. So in Big Ten, every possession is huge. So trying to make the best of that possession.
Yeah, for sure. And like this is really early in the game too, so like it'd be easy for you to like still have that adrenaline going from like the just tipping off and want to make an impact early, but you make the high IQ play and just slow it down a little bit. So really like to see that. Next, we've got Seton Hall here, who's got an array of nice guards that you're matched up against. Here's another pick and roll initiation. Guy doesn't really get like that good of a screen on you, but you do stick with the ball handler here. And then again, you get your hands in there. And I mean, look at this guy's reaction. He wasn't expecting it at all. Like probably thought he was going to get a foul call there, but it was as clean as can be. You just fight across here, get your hand on that ball. I like how aggressive you are in those situations, and you're not afraid to like get in there and get dirty and make some impact plays.
For sure. No, that's huge for guards to be able to get over ball screens and be able to just nag other guards, especially when we're playing really good guards like McKnight from Seton Hall.
Right. All right. Last segment here is just going to be somewhere you can work on a little bit defensively. Again, not like a big weakness or anything, but just like something you can tighten up a little bit. And if you do, like you're going to be all that more of an impactful defender as a pro. So what we're focusing on here is, I guess, kind of similar. It's like the reverse of what your offensive improvement area was. And this is kind of just closing out on shooters, right?
For sure.
So we see you out on the wing here, matched up against Io. They get a little handoff action there. And I mean, we've seen you fight through these screens and handoff situations before. This time you get like a little bit more caught up and kind of go under it and give him just enough space to get this one off. And it's not like it's a bad contest, but it's a little late,
No, yeah. So for this particular game, the game plan was to go under his handoffs. In league play, he wasn't shooting it as well. So our game plan was to go under. So I went under, but you're right. I could have contested it better. Could have got a higher hand. I think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, like good read on the scouting report, right? You go under, but like even when you go under, could probably get up in them a little bit more. And like you said, maybe Io's strength isn't necessarily sticking these kind of shots. So, and it's early in the game. So maybe you live with one of those. Not a huge deal. Last one here, you're matched up against Indiana again. See you're kind of following this guy down into the paint, and they set like, I guess, somewhat of a flare screen there. You get kind of caught up on that. He reads it well, to his credit, right? They get kind of caught kind of late chasing him back out to the corner. You want to maybe just talk through like what was developing in that play, maybe if you were anticipating something else happening there, a particular action.
So they're basically just running a floppy set. And he comes off a down screen coming off the corner. And I shaded the first one, just make sure I was there. I was expecting for him to coming off the other side. I was going to meet him on the other side of the screen.
Right.
But like you said, he read the screen really well and he popped back, and I was still able to contest it, but he was able to hit the shot.
Yeah. And I think that, like on all of these, your contests aren't that bad. But I think maybe just given your like lack of elite length and whatnot, that like you have maybe just a little less margin for error, especially at the NBA level when these shooters are going to be like bigger, longer guys. So like that little split second of a difference is going to be like materially impactful for you. So, like that's where like you're a really like high IQ, smart player. So your film studies can really come into play, and just making sure that you can get every advantage that you can in those sort of situations to get,
For sure.
Even just a little bit more impactful of a high hand closeout will make a big difference for you.
For sure. I agree.
Cool. Well, hey, appreciate you taking the time to, go through all your tape there and really speak through how you see the game and how you anticipate and read things. I thought that was particularly interesting and, really shows how high IQ of a point guard you are. Every team is looking for a guy in their rotation that, brings some of those elements to the table.
Right.
So how I wanted to end this here is, in light of the unprecedented times that we're in and, all the uncertainty surrounding this pre-draft process and, the lack of Portsmouth and the lack of, workouts, in-person interviews, right? I just wanted to give you the chance to express to NBA teams who is Anthony Cowen, and if an organization is to bring you in, what can they expect from you both on and off the court?
Right. So Anthony Cowen, first and foremost, he's a young man who's hardworking and dedicated, and whenever he puts his mind to, he's gonna go out and get. He's also a winner. He's won at every level that he's been on. He's left every program, every place he's been at better than how he found it. And he's just any team that brings you in, just expect a player that's gonna do whatever he can to help his team in any way, shape, or form. And just bringing a winning mentality, and ready to work from day one.
Hey, any team would be lucky to have you, man.
I appreciate that.
Best of luck in navigating the rest of this pre-draft process here. Going to be rooting for all your success, and stay safe.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Same to you.
All right. Thanks, Anthony.
Have a good one.